Hi, everybody. Ms. Lee here. So let's go ahead and try a couple of examples that uses the empirical rule. So I'm going to go ahead and do number 1, and then maybe you can pause the video and try numbers 2 and 3 on your own, or you can watch the video if you're completely confused. In number 1, it says, or in the directions, it says a normal distribution has a mean of 28 and a standard deviation of 3. Find the probability that a randomly selected x value from the distribution is in the given interval. So for these types of problems, what I would generally do is draw your picture of your standard deviation first. And so this means 28 means a mean of 28 means that the middle number is 28. A standard deviation of 3 means that one standard deviation away would be 28 plus 3, which is 31. And then the other way would be 25. And then you do one more standard deviation, that's 34. And then going the other way, minus 3, that's 22. And then one more standard deviation so that we were at 3 standard deviations away, because those are what's included in the empirical rule. We'll add and subtract 3 from that. Okay, so we have 37. We have 19 over here. Okay. So the question asks, what is the probability that a randomly selected x value is between 19 and 34? So 19 is 3 standard deviations away. So if you think about that, that's right here. And then 34, that's right here. Okay, so that's 2 standard deviations up and then 3 standard deviations below. Okay, so first of all, there are many different ways you can go about this. You can add, you can subtract, you can kind of find different ways to go about it. What I generally do is I kind of split it in half. So if you split this in half, and you know that going this way is half of 2 standard deviations, and then going this way, it's half of 3 standard deviations, then you can kind of easily use the numbers from the above infographic. Okay, so as I said a second ago, if you're looking at this, you can see that it's half of 2 standard deviations away, so that's 1/2 of, and then 2 standard deviations away is 95, plus, and then 1/2 of, and then this is 3 standard deviations away, so 99.7. Okay, so you can just use a calculator for this. No need to do this kind of arithmetic in your hand. So 0.5 times 95 plus 0.5 times 99.7. And of course, these are percentages. So whatever you get, you want to write as a percentage. So 97.35% is what you would get for that. Okay, so I encourage you to pause the video here and kind of try the other 2 and see if you can figure it out. If not, you can just continue watching. Okay, so for number 2, it says at most 31. At most 31. So that means that it cannot be greater than 31. So if you think about that, if you draw your normal distribution curve again, 31 was 1 standard deviation above. And so that's this. And then you want to kind of color which way we're going here. And so we'll go ahead and color what at most 31 is. So that's this. And so like I was saying before, I like to split it in half and just do one side of the half and then the other side of the half. And so for this side, on the left side, it's all of it. So that would be 50%. So 50% plus, and then over here, this would be 1/2 of the 1 standard deviation away. And I actually wrote that out right here. So this would be plus 34%. And so that would be 84%. Okay. So for number 3, it says at least 34%. So again, we draw our little normal distribution curve. So 34 is 2 standard deviations away, and it says at least 34, so we want what is above it. Okay, so just as a reminder, everything below the curve should add up to 100%. So everything is 100%. And so what you can kind of think about for this is kind of like doing 100% and then minus whatever you're capable of finding. And so that's what I'm going to do for this one. So you know that this 50% is all gone. For this portion right here, this is going to be half of and then 2 standard deviations away. So if you're looking at this, this is 2 standard deviations away, and all of that is supposed to be 95%. But this here is only going to be half of that. So this right here is going to be 1/2 times 95%. And then, as I said earlier, everything to the left there, that's going to be 50%. So 50% plus 1/2 times 95% is going to get you everything else. And so you want to do 100% minus this, because 50% plus 1/2 of 95% is going to give you everything that you don't want. And so you do 100% minus that. Okay, so 50%, just as an FYI. The 50% is covering this portion, but what we wanted to find is the black part, so we do 100% and then minus all of that. Okay. So 100% minus, and then in parentheses, 50% plus 1/2 of 95%. And of course, as I was saying before, we can just go ahead and do this on our calculator. So you have 100 minus, and then in parentheses, 50 plus, and then 1/2, which is 0.5, and then times 95, which is 2.5%. And you can think to yourself if this makes sense or not. And it does make sense, because if you think about what is supposed to be within 2 standard deviations right here is 95%. So what's left outside of that is 5%. And if you divide that by 2, you get 2.5%. Okay, so like I was saying before, there's many different ways you can do it. You can add, subtract, multiply by 2. You can use like the symmetry, and figure it out from there. So go ahead and try the next examples, 4A and 4B. Happy day.